Yeah, here we are, thoughts from the office, Redneck's Pride Outdoors. I'm out, it's what, the 13th, I think? Yeah, 13th of August. And I'm out pulling camera cards on my deer stuff test sites. Getting ready to put some videos together for marketing for the deer stuff. And one thing I've been noticing more and more, I hate the seatbelt in the woods. I don't know why I gotta wear it. I guess I could put it behind my back, but it's uncomfortable. Well, anyway, the thing I've been noticing this year extremely a lot is the amount of fox and coyotes that are coming into the sites, the deer stuff sites. And at first I thought the coyotes was coming in for the deer. And then and I thought the foxes was coming in for the squirrels and what have you. But what I realized about a year ago, it wasn't. They was coming in to eat. Yeah, they would come in and they would, if they had a chance to pick up a squirrel or something like that, or chase a deer off, they would. And I have noticed that the more a coyote comes into a site, the less the deer come in. I have noticed that too. Now that's here in South Jersey. I don't know anywhere else if that's the case or not. I don't know. But in the woods situations, when you see coyotes coming in every other day or every day, or at least twice a week, the deer seem to be spooky, skittish, and don't come in as much or as hard. But anyway, getting back to what I'm talking about, I'm noticing red fox, coyotes, but a lot of gray fox. A lot of gray fox are coming in. And I'm going to key in on snaring gray foxes this year. I always say I'm going to, but the numbers haven't been, the numbers are good. Don't get me wrong. I'm seeing plenty of gray foxes. I'm seeing more gray foxes in places like I'm at today, right now, and a few other areas that I'm in. The gray fox populations are really, really good. More than red fox. But it's thick. Okay? And every year I say I'm going to key in on snaring gray foxes, but it's a pain and I don't do it, because in order to target your gray fox, you've got to target your raccoons too. I'm not talking about catching one or two here, one or two there. I'm talking about targeting the gray fox. The same thing as if you want to call gray fox. You've got to target them. All right? And guys will say to me, well, how do you target gray fox calling? Well, in South Jersey, where we got this godforsaken stuff that you can only see 20 yards if you're lucky, you've got to target, you call the same way you do raccoons. Which means you call during the daylight hours as much as you can, because you can only see 10, 20, 30 yards is like a given. 30 yards is like, wow, I've got a great place to call here. And you gotta have your head on a swivel, not moving your body, because the grays come in from any different direction. You always try to get them to come in on the downwind side, but you never really know when they're coming in. And I can't tell you how many times last year I had them come in on my downwind side and bust me. Okay, it's just, and you don't even know it. The ones I know busted me was because I happened to know it, see it. I don't know how many are busting me coming in on a downwind side, because you can't, unless you can put a field to your back and you're in the thick stuff, unless you can put a water course behind you, a lake or something like that, to your back on the downwind side, they're sneaking right in on you. But anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about here. The gray foxes, okay, when they're coming into these test sites that I have, the first thing I'm noticing is they're utilizing the logs. They're utilizing the running logs. We call them running logs. And if there's a running log, like I always pick up a stump if I can to put in my deer stuff 2 or deer stuff 1 into. So there's always a running log, usually real close. And what I notice is they're always running that high log. And if they can get higher than the attractant, the more they feel comfortable. All right, and that's something to really think about as a snareman, because how you doing? Because as a foot trap man, if I was able to use foot traps, I would be out on those field corners right up against the thick stuff. I would be out in the open a little bit more. Right up against the backer would be my thick stuff. Now that would hurt me on my coyotes a little bit. But the reds would maybe, be a little bit more hesitant, but my grays would jump right on it. Also, when I'm using cable, if the field is overgrown, okay, then I can still catch grays right up against that thick stuff, if you will. All right. When I'm in a field right now, and I got a coyote right in front of me, son of a gun. Where's my caller at? Wonder if I can get him. On the camera. No, he got away. The young one. Well, all right. This is what we're going, and that's where the gray foxes are at. Gray foxes are all up in there. That coyote was right there, right on that road right there. Huh. Well, getting back to what I'm going to say here real quick. While I'm driving, keep this back in the hands free. Make it easy. When you're going to be going after your grays, you got to be in that stuff. You got to set your cable up in that stuff. Now, right along this edge where I'm driving this road, if this field was all the way out to the edge, then there would be a trail running right down that edge, and that is the trail that you can hang your combination red fox, gray fox snares. In other words, you're going to put a bigger loop. You could put a 6 or 7 inch loop, and you could. In a case like that, I would put if I had a 7 inch loop for my red fox that's going to run that edge. Let me say, I'll just say it. That edge right there. All right, there'll be a run that's running right along that thick stuff. There's a road right here. I'll pull up and see if what it looks like. Now see, that's good for your coyotes and your reds right there. But back that way is real thick where that stuff just runs right up against the woods, and there's a dead furrow. So in that dead furrow, if I'm going to set up for a gray, my snare, or a red, I'm going to do a combination, and what I'm going to simply do is go by 7, I'll go 7 inch loop, 7 inches off the ground, and I'm going to put a chin up. I usually hang like maybe a little real small twig or a pine needle or something like that, just off the bottom. And your gray foxes in that scenario are going to keep their head up a little bit higher, and they're going to move a little bit faster through there. So your red fox cable is going to work on that one. Okay, but for the most part, what we're seeing is these grays are sticking inside 10, 15 feet in this thick stuff. And again, you know, just to give you, there's a trail. That's a deer trail. Now that would be a good red fox and gray fox set right there. But you know, when you move up, this is what we're dealing with, and it's like that way all the way through. Same thing with that. You know, that's what we're dealing with, and that gray fox be inside. That gray fox is going to be inside. Wonder where that coyote went. We got a field right here. He wasn't too alarmed by me, but he wasn't going to stick around either. I want to get the caller out. Just to call him in and see if I can get some footage. I can't play around. I gotta get these cameras and places fixed back up again for deer. But anyway, getting back onto the grays. You know, one of your best scenarios is if you can find a log in there, in either one of these sides, 5, 6, 7, 10 feet inside, and it's running parallel with the road that I'm on. Hang your snare on that, your cable restraint on that, that running log, and it's amazing how many gray foxes you will pick up. You'll also pick up some reds too, because reds like to run the things also. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, and I want to pay attention because I think I know. I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna try to call that fox just to get some footage of it, which means I can't be talking to you guys. All right, let me get going here. Rednecks Pride Outdoors, thoughts from the office.